welcome to our first interview in our Women's History segment. I'm here with Karen Hicks, owner of Reflections Cabinetry. Karen has been a dear friend of mine, great friend of mine for many years, working previously together for a local home builder. And I brought her here to really bring light to women who are really making history now, which I believe are women who are business owners. And so with that being said, I will turn it over to Karen. Karen, thank you for coming on. I know you hate me for asking you to be here. But
I feel really honored. So, and I'm excited for you and to have this chat with you today.
Thank you so much. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, your work background, and a little bit about your current business.
Well, I kind of fell into the building industry.
I was making sure we're recording. Sorry. Go on. Go ahead.
I fell into the building industry kind of, by chance, by accident, as a very young girl. I worked for a deck company out of Northern Virginia for a few years and went from there to a building supply company. I was there for about 17 years. I started off in windows and siding and doors and kind of fell into cabinet design. Learned the ins and outs of cabinet design, working with builders, remodelers, which I loved. Then I was provided an opportunity to work for a custom home builder out of Richmond, and I decided to take that leap. And I transitioned to a design studio consultant. So I worked with all of their clients on making selections. I worked on spec homes, the show homes, the big homoramas, and did, structural and moving walls. And so that really taught me a lot as far as tying in my design experience, and really helped overall kind of round my design experience. But in that, I always knew that my specialty was really cabinet design. And that's really where I kind of find myself the happiest, and that's my niche, I guess you would say, or niche, however you like to say it. So I prefer cabinet design, and I kind of like the way, architecture goes, and playing with heights and moldings and, colors of cabinets and countertops. So I decided at that point that I thought it was a good time to start my own business. I do have a partner in the business, but decided to take that leap in 2018.
Gosh, I can't believe it's already been that long. It feels like it was just yesterday, but at the same time, it doesn't. You've done amazing. If people want to follow you on social media to sort of see what you're doing and some of your client photos, which are always incredible, what would be your handle for social media?
So for social media, I'd have to look at, I think we're just Reflections Cabinetry on
that's good.
Instagram and on Facebook. You can also view our website is rchappy.com. We've got our portfolio there, and then we also sell cabinetry online. So
I love that.
What you're looking for, it's there.
I think what most people love when it comes to design, specifically kitchen design, is seeing the before and afters. And that's always a big thing for you on social media, which I love, because you're just like, this can't be the same house. Like this is amazing. Or, I mean, I know you work with several builders as well. And so you're looking at complete new construction too. So I love seeing that. So I want to make sure we'll tag below the video so people can follow you. What would be your one piece of advice for women looking to get into design? I mean, ultimately you have a background where I feel that, and maybe you can attest to this, but a lot of men work in that role of understanding the structurals piece of it and the cabinet design, and understanding okay, true measurements, what this is going to look like, how we're actually going to be able to fit appliances. And before working with you, I felt like it was rare to come across women who could effectively do this job. And it became, to me, more apparent that women were getting into this design field, not just picking paint colors, not pillows, not, design, but truly structural design. And tell me what you would tell some other women who are looking to get into the space that you're in. What type of advice would you give to them?
I think my most important advice would be to learn it all. Try to get in with a new construction builder or a remodeler, but probably I would suggest new construction just because you can go through the entire process from foundation to under roof, and you start to understand kind of, you think about the sausage, how the sausage is made. It's not just here and then you get your sausage. Like, it's important to know and understand the entire process, building process. Once you have that understanding and knowledge, you can kind of go anywhere with design. And again, it's not just couches and curtains and paint. You're talking about trim, cabinetry, appliances, windows. There's all kinds of, moving stairs to the back of the house instead of the front of the house, or there's just so much to design and understanding that. Once you have that foundation, you can go into remodeling, right? You can understand more of the remodel process because you understand how the house is initially built, what can be moved, what can't be moved. And then I think it opens up your creativity as well. Sometimes we go into these houses for remodels and like completely change the space, move, the kitchen to where the dining room was. And we're able to come up with some really creative ideas to enlarge these kitchens or just change them entirely that people don't see. And honestly, even remodeling contractors will go in and kind of be shocked with the ideas we come up with, because it's not something that they have that vision for. They can execute it, but coming up with that vision and coming up with the design ideas, I think, is probably one of the most important aspects for us as far as designing cabinetry. It's not just cabinetry,
Right.
it's really change your space and make it amazing for you and functional.
Absolutely. And I think through the pandemic, so many people have found that their homes no longer suit them. And so for those people who truly love their home, remodeling is a great opportunity for them to kind of make their space what they want. And I think it's so valuable to be able to find people like you who are in business who can help them to see the vision. I think a lot of people get frustrated because they know they want change, but they're not sure how. They may show you this crazy elaborate kitchen that would never fit into their 1,700 square foot rancher, but you can make something work for them in their space, which is so, so important. So I'm glad that, you're able to be that left and right brain for people, because there really is truly an art and science to it. And really getting to the final result. And I know from my experience of seeing your work, I'm like, wait, how did that happen? Or wait, where was this wall? Like, I didn't realize that you could take this out or change this. And so your before and after pictures have always amazed me. So with that being said, I have to bring up, because we talk pillows, paint colors, curtains, HGTV. Okay. We know, you and I being in this industry, it has truly changed the realm of what people believe to be the design trend, right? So most everyone's ideas and inspiration photos are coming from an HGTV show, someone who's on HGTV who has a magazine or has a different blog. We're always kind of getting inspiration photos of whether this is what they're looking for in a new construction home, this is what they're looking for in their first home, if they're purchasing a home with me, or if they're in their own home trying to figure out, how can I redo my space to kind of bring this life to it, right? So what would you say? Obviously, HGTV bringing a huge impact on design trends. What would you say is your most favorite design trend right now that you're kind of seeing a lot of people bring to you?
Well, I think that what I'm seeing more, and especially with the people, with the pandemic and people being home the last couple of years, is I'm seeing people wanting more minimalism. Um, and I'm seeing some mid-century kind of modern design breaking through, and it's more like clean lines, less clutter, organization. I'm seeing a lot of that, and that's kind of what I'm enjoying right now as far as trends. I'm still seeing a lot of clients looking for the modern farmhouse style, but I really think that's kind of going out, especially the shiplap, dare I say it.
I know. I was like, will she dare? Will she dare? But I feel the same way. I feel the same way. It came on so strong. So that was actually going to be my next question was, what trends do you think are kind of phasing out or getting played out, or where people are like, I could do something different now?
Well, I'm seeing the modern farmhouse. I'm still seeing clients want that look. But definitely the shiplap is, kind of going out. There was a few years there where we just saw shiplap everywhere. And it's like everywhere we can put it, let's put it. Let's put it on hoods and walls and, entire rooms. And so I think that is going out. I think we're seeing, again, a mixture of more of like the shakers. People are still enjoying the shaker style cabinets, but less on the modern, farmhouse style. I'm also seeing, like the matte black is kind of starting to go out again.
I was actually just going to ask you about a color trend too, because at some point, people were starting to do like a statement island where, they had a very, maybe a very vanilla type cabinet, but they had a very statement bold island. But I am seeing a lot more of darker cabinetry kind of making a comeback, because it is kind of shifting toward this modern minimalist look where people may not be going for the whole farmhousey style cabinet. Yeah. So you're seeing some of that.
Oh, definitely. I'm seeing the stains come back in, the stained cabinetry, shifting kind of away from, some of the painted colors. We're still seeing the warms come back, and some of the beiges and browns are starting to come back. The natural wood tones, a lot of that is starting to come back, but definitely, the big statement island, I don't think is going to go away for a while. I think we're just seeing a little bit less, ornate decorative legs. We're looking at more, straight line square post legs, and again, kind of that mid-century modern. But a lot of people, I always encourage people, find what you like and, mix up some stuff. Like, you don't have to have a house or a kitchen that's 100% mid-century modern.
Right.
Like a little bit of this style and that style. Let's find a way to integrate it, to where it makes you happy.
I think the kitchen island is probably, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but probably one of the biggest items in a remodel is most people are looking to have some type of kitchen island. And so it's really changed over time, even with new construction, because the formal dining space has kind of come and gone in a way, because people are finding that if they can seat more people in the kitchen, if they can seat more people closer in a morning room, they want that ability to have that. I am still seeing people where they're very traditional and still would prefer a separate dining, but the ability and the ability for people like you who are doing this day in and day out, I have noticed that we're trying to do more around the island. So not only seating, but storage, not only cooking, but sinks. Everything is incorporated into the island, where we have prep stations and serving stations and eating stations, and everything seems to be really the heart of the house being in the kitchen. And so it's really interesting to see that, because I've definitely seen that dark cabinet come through, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing to see this, but also in a different way, right? Because you can dress things up with the countertops and the backsplash that, like you said, combining a few different designs can really give someone the style that they're achieving with a mixture of elements. So I love that. And I got to go there with the shiplap too on you. It's kind of played out. I think it is.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it for a while.
Yeah. I think like when, and I don't even know if I see Joanna Gaines doing that anymore, even in Magnolia, like network stuff. Like, I don't even know if I've seen a ton of that happen in her, which I feel like she really brought it out. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
or Joanna Gaines, like shiplap. We're like, okay, like, yeah, we're familiar.
I
Um,
think that market's oversaturated with it, but I also find it interesting where we are, and especially in Richmond. Even in the area where I'm located in Fredericksburg, we kind of tend to be a little bit behind on the design trend changes. So I don't know, and even probably more so Richmond. I think it's just because a lot of Richmond is probably more of the
yeah.
traditional type, designs. And so it just takes a little while to trickle down. So I think we'll start seeing a lot less of the farmhouse, modern farmhouse type styles.
I think that that's so true because you and I have both been to the builder show. And I think they were typically alternating between Florida and Vegas, or I would say Orlando and Vegas. And so it was interesting because I never made it to the Vegas one, but for people who are on the East Coast, like there is a saying like everything hits the West Coast before it comes here. And so it was interesting because I've heard from some people that have gone to Vegas and have gone to that builder show, seeing some different things that kind of take longer to get to the East Coast and longer to shift this way. So yeah, I do think we're a little bit behind on it, but staying ahead of trends obviously is so important for all of us, but knowing our market too is super important. So it's nice to see kind of what's happening in Richmond, but it's also great when we go to those builder shows to say like, ooh, this is
it's exciting for what is coming. I will say though, I am very pleased to see several custom builders down in the Richmond area doing the modern exteriors and the modern style. It's a really nice change, and I think it's really going to take off. I haven't seen it much in the Fredericksburg area, which is interesting since it's between Richmond and DC. But I really am enjoying seeing the modern homes go up in Richmond.
Yeah, it is definitely, it's been interesting to see because some of these builders, as you know, their reputation has been way more traditional. And so for them, they're really stepping out on like, okay, they're responding to a need in the market. There's people looking for this type of house. So it is really interesting in a lot of different master plan communities in Midlothian, you're seeing where there's just dedicated sections of the neighborhood, right? Because there's some people that are going to go, I don't want that across the street from me. Looks way too modern to what I am, right?
Modern right next to a craftsman.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure ARB is having a lot of fun with that. But ultimately, I think it's cool too, because I really love the clean lines and the black windows and like the really dark, just I've even seen some builders out here towards Goochland, there's completely black houses. They even had one in the home show. I think it was Homesmith that did a completely black house, like it's just, or very dark blue where you think it's black. And, it's kind of that like modern goth, minimal, clean, and then it's super bright inside. So it's cool to see the trends kind of, like you said, trickling in. I think they're testing the waters and I think people have responded. So it's nice to see. So I have to ask you, we've always joked about client stories, right? Because we always have some funny story about it, about someone or something that's happened. But what would you say has just been one of your most memorable client stories, something like very special to you, an experience that you've had with a family that you've helped with design?
Well, I would say that, the one client that stands out, she was building in Harper's Mill. And well, her and her husband, and they have a son, and they were actually building next to their friends. And I don't know if you remember them.
I do. I do very much.
So both, sets of families were trying to get in. I believe it was before Halloween. I think Halloween was her kind of like her favorite holiday, and her son was starting kindergarten. But she came in, and I didn't work with her neighbors who were next door. Actually, another design consultant worked with them. So it was like this little competition. And I think, we had like team, I won't say their last name. I don't know if she cared, but, we had like different team shirts, and she and little jokes to the sales manager and open up an envelope and confetti would fly out. And she would just stop by. We would go out to lunch, and we became friends. And we went over there after she was done with her home, and it was just she just loved her house. Like, she loved everything about the process. She loved everyone that she worked with. But it was nice to go in and, go over there for a party or go enjoy dinner with her, and see how much she loved it. Every time I went there, it was, you did this for me, and I just love this. And she was just really, I've had a lot of great clients, but her and her husband and her son, I mean, they were just fantastic to work with. And it's, we're still friends to this day, although I'm not in the area, so I miss them. But
you did such a great job. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I think that's the one thing that I've always loved about you and your work, is that every family or every person you've worked with, they've become a raving fan of who you represented at the time because of your commitment to excellence. Like, you truly want them to love their space. And so I'm so happy that you've had the opportunity to do this in your own light, in your own brand, in your own name, because so many other companies have had this incredible reputation. And I think a big part of that was you. And so having that for yourself, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm so happy, because that is the kitchen, like I said, is just truly the heart of the home for so many people. And I believe that it's one of the, I mean, they teach you when you're in sales, when it comes to presenting photography, I mean, it's one of the most important spaces that people want to see: the functionality of the kitchen, the beauty of the kitchen, the style of the kitchen, how it flows. And that can just be that itself can make someone want that house outside of other things. They could compromise other parts of the house if the kitchen really supports their dream and what they're doing. And so I think what you do specifically is very special to the process. But that client is just one of many I know that absolutely love how you work, what you do, what your dedication is, and just truly the ability to be on site and to understand and to be able to communicate with the contractors is also a big key to that, because there's some cabinet design people who never leave their office space. This is like, here's the design, here's the selection, like, here's it, that's it. I mean, you're in there, like, you may be checking some people and measuring out and making sure, like, does that look right? Is that right? Like, you don't care who you're offending, you're making sure this is right for the client. And so I think that's the work ethic that you provide to, like, all of your clients is across the board the same. So I know she's not the only one that thinks that you're their favorite, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
But I have to ask a bonus question. I won't keep you too long, but our bonus question. So with it being Women's History Month, if you could have dinner and drinks, or either or, if you're thinking liquid diet, with any woman in history, and it could be dead or alive, famous or not, who would it be and why?
Betty White.
Yes. Right? Yes. It's so fresh still that it's like, it's hard to even think that she's not here. It's so fresh.
Yeah, one, because they call her the first lady of TV, right?
Right.
But she really was the first woman in the United States to create a sitcom. And well, not only is she just unapologetically, she was hilarious, right? I mean, she just was such a lovely woman, but she chose a different route than most women. She decided not to have children. She wanted to focus on her career. And I think that cost her several marriages. But she just kind of paved her own way, and she didn't worry about what everybody thought she should be or what she should do with her life. She was an avid lover of animals, but I just think she would have been the coolest person to have dinner with and have drinks with and just laugh with.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think that could be any more perfect of an answer for you, because if I could incorporate a modern Betty White, she would be very similar to you. It's more like, you are who you get, and I think that that's so authentic, because in this business, we do business with people who we like. and we refer business to people who we love, right? And it's like the experiences that people have with you, it's your authentic self. It's whether you're measuring out a space for someone, if you're behind the computer coming up with a design, if you're meeting them at a concert, if you're going out to dinner, you are that light, that great person that people want to be around. And I think that was the Betty White, you know, people just wanted to be around her and her presence. And so although I feel like you've had such an amazing career as well. I love that you chose her specifically because there's so many commonalities, and not to mention your people who don't know your grandmother. Like yeah, like she would be like Betty White on like 18 levels of steroids. Like she's like the epitome of, I think, what so many of us aspire to do which is just live life and enjoy life to the fullest. And ever since you shared with me who she was and a little bit on social media, it's like, I know where you get that fire for sure.
She's 98 now, and you know, Betty White's passing had a real impact on her for sure.
I believe it. And I'm telling you, I mean, I may even have to tag her somewhere in the video or something. People got to know who your grandma is, because she is so awesome. I mean, I think she just in not only in Women's History Month, but just all year, all the time.
Dance videos and
dance videos, living life. So I know she's made a huge impact on your life too. So I can imagine if you had dinner with Betty White, that your grandma would be there too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for jumping on here and sharing about you and your business. I'll be sure to tag and make sure people are following you. Ultimately, just for quick reference, where is your service area right now if people are interested in doing any cabinet work?
Right now we service mainly Fredericksburg, Northern Virginia. We go to DC, Maryland, south as far as Ashland, sometimes a little bit further down into Richmond, but basically the Northern Virginia area.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I know if someone's here in Richmond and wants to reach out to you, I'm sure you may, if it's something you can't take on. I mean, I think it's great to at least bring it to you to see if it's something that you can do. I know you also refer to some other people as well, but for our folks that need contacts in Northern Virginia as well, I wanted to make sure that they knew that you go that far. So thank you so much for jumping on with me. And I promise it wouldn't be painful, right? This was pretty good.
It wasn't too painful.
All right. Well, stay tuned for the next month of whatever history, and I'll have to bring you on. This is the first month of us trying this, so I just thank you for being my first guest, because it means a lot to me, and I consider you a really great friend. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.